There was no place in this myth for a family. No one was to know about them. Half-brother Alois owned a bar in Berlin. Half-sister Angela ran his household. His sister Paula was engaged to a mass murderer. One nephew went to fight for his uncle, another nephew took up arms against him.
I hope to take an active part in the liquidation of this man, my uncle, who has unleashed such misery upon the world.
A family with skeletons in the closet. Recent research has shown just why the dictator denied his origins. He was afraid that his family left him open to attack. But who were his relatives? What did the dictator think about them? And they about him?
He wouldn't have argued with, calling him the most vicious anti-Semite who ever lived. A megalomaniacal military leader who was willing to risk or sacrifice millions of lives in incredible military gambles. Hitler wouldn't have argued with any of that. But the one thing he wouldn't want to be known as is the family man.
To this day, we know little about Hitler's relatives. Many tracks have been covered. Historians Timothy Ryback and Florian Beil are trying to get to the bottom of the mystery.
When you start looking at the family history, it really is quite remarkable how much there was that could be unpacked. And I think the only way he could deal with this was to put a lid on top of all of it and keep it hidden from public.
One of the Hitler family's darkest chapters has only recently come to light. In January 1944, Hitler's secretary, Martin Bormann, received a secret dossier from Heinrich Himmler, head of the SS. It contained some highly explosive material on Hitler's family. Himmler had sent Gestapo agents to the Austrian city of Graz to investigate certain rumors. The Führer was said to have relatives there who were, in the words of the report, half-wits and imbeciles, a scandalous allegation. An SS unit tracked down the man who started the rumor and found the Veit family is indeed directly related to Adolf Hitler and does have cases of genetically inherited mental illness. One was Aloysia Veit, Hitler's second cousin. Her medical file has only recently been discovered. The head of the Institute for Forensic Medicine at the University of Munich is helping to evaluate it.
Bei der Familie Veit fällt auf, dass die Geschwister auch psychisch auffällig waren. Wenn ich das mal salopp ausdrücke, in dieser Familie war der Wurm drin. Und wenn man das zurückverfolgt, dann ist auch in der Ahnenreihe eine Anzahl von psychiatrischen Auffälligkeiten, sodass man überlegen muss, ob eben in der Familie von Adolf Hitler anlagebedingt etwas vorhanden war, was zum Ausbruch psychiatrischer Erkrankungen geführt hat.
Hitler's second cousin, Aloysia Veit, suffered from schizophrenia. For 9 years, she was locked up in Vienna's Am Steinhof psychiatric institution. In those days, the Nazi euthanasia program branded thousands as unworthy of life. Aloysia was transferred to the Hartheim Lunatic Asylum. It was a death sentence. Over 18,500 mentally ill patients were murdered in Hartheim. Aloysia Veit died in the Hartheim gas chamber in December 1940. A victim of the mass murder engineered by her great-uncle, Adolf Hitler. In Paula's memoirs, there isn't a word about her own involvement in Hitler's Reich. There were good reasons for her silence. After Nazi Germany annexed Austria, Paula wanted to settle in the village of Weiten. On her brother's orders, she had to live incognito. She introduced herself as Paula Wolf.
Sie ist schon durchgesickert, obwohl sie es nicht haben wollte. Ne? Aber es ist schon durchgesickert, dass sie die Schwester vom Hitler ist.
She liked this house. She wanted to have it. But the owner didn't want to sell.
Sie hat dann einen Brief von der Frau Wolf bekommen, also wenn sie das Haus nicht verkauft, sie würde auch andere Mittel und Wege finden, um zu diesem Haus zu kommen. Ne?
The threat worked. Paula got the house as a present. Her brother paid. She lived here from 1940 on, and she got engaged to Dr. Erwin Jekelius.
Ich habe was gehört über den Verlobten, dass er Menschen also beseitigt hat, die behindert waren.
Dr. Jekelius was head of the Amsteinhof Psychiatric Institution in Vienna, where Aloysia Veit, Hitler's second cousin, was confined for 9 years. Paula's fiancé was a willing executioner in the program of mass murder they called euthanasia. He sent over 4,000 patients to the gas chambers. Hitler's sister knew about it. Yet she still wanted to marry the doctor. She asked her brother's permission. But only Hitler would decide who was part of the family. He had Paula's fiancé arrested and sent to the Eastern Front. Erwin Jekelius was taken prisoner by the Soviets. He died in captivity in 1952. Gailey, on the other hand, was impressed by her uncle's popularity. She was totally in his thrall. But Erna later wrote,
"He placed such restrictions on her personal life that she could no longer break free. She didn't even trust her own mother."
Her uncle's apartment on Prinzregentenplatz in Munich. Her gilded cage. Calling Hitler my jailer, Gailey plunged into a severe depression. On the 28th of September 1931, Gailey Raubal shot herself in Hitler's flat. Her uncle was appalled. He scoured the room for a suicide note, in vain.
Das hat ihn doll mitgenommen.